Yeah. We got talented group here. So. Oh man, we got Queen the Ghetto Gospel right here.
You funny as it. You extra funny for that introduction. Yeah. Peace, y'all. It is Johni Demeatri. Of course, we are on another episode of Urban Grind Radio. My boy Nefu is over here. Cracking me up. We definitely got a pretty lit episode today. Yes. Super duper lit episode today. To the left of me, we have a very special guest, Miss Lala. And I ain't into introductions at all. I don't want to mess you up. So, baby, tell the people, what's up.
Hey, everybody. It is Lala. I am a talent manager and host. I've been in the music business for about 10 to 15 plus years. Most recently doing talent management and event hosting. I have an event coming up on March 22nd, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Okay, for sure. So I got a question off back. You say you're an event host and a music manager. So do you have artists that you manage in music? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Absolutely. I have 2 artists that I currently manage, but I work with a bunch of artists right now under the umbrella of Industry Shy. So I like to call myself the artist champ because I really am a huge supporter of artists. I'm their number one supporter. I want to make sure they're good mentally, spiritually, all of the above. That's also part of management too, is the development side. So under the Industry Shy, I work with a bunch of artists, but I do manage 2 specific artists. One's a hip hop artist and one's a music producer, singer, songwriter, and she does it all. She's incredible.
So I heard you mention like the developmental side of things. What are some more of the fundamentals that you provide your artists as a manager?
Yeah, so I would like to say as a manager, the basics, a lot of guidance, of advice. Just I've been in this industry for so long. The experience is beyond a resume. So I know what works, what doesn't work. So I like to get to know who I'm working with first and kind of understand what type of artist they want to become. Once you identify and understand the type of artist they want to become, you can kind of cater to their development that way. So like I mentioned a little bit earlier, if an artist is just someone who is talented and doesn't mind the fame, but they have more of I create music to express type of vibe, then you have to cater to them a little bit differently. That career path is going to be a little bit more long-term, more development than booking. Then you have an artist who's, I know everything about the business. I've done the research. I've been doing this. I taught myself the ins and outs of everything. I perform, I produce, I have a whole connection, a whole team. Those artists are ready to execute. And at that point, then you focus on bookings, radio, media, etc.
How many of your artists are just getting halfway there and then running?
We have one that's, I would say they're both running. But I have one of each. So I have one who is more, I create music based on how I feel. I have another one who's been doing this for 10 plus years and he's ready to go. And he's just been doing everything from his marketing to his merchandise to planning a tour. And he's just so on top of his business, but he's been doing this for so long, But they're both equally, talented in their own ways. They both have star potential. It's going to be a different avenue for each artist.
For sure. So it seems like you have a wide variety of artists that you work with. Do you have a favorite type of artist to work with? Like I heard you say music producer and, artist, singer, songwriter. So do you have a favorite type of artist to work with?
I don't necessarily have a favorite type of artist to work with, but I do enjoy working with artists who know what they want and who they don't have to be ready, but they know what they want. They know what they want to do. They know who they are. They may not have all of the tools to kind of execute it yet, but they know exactly what they want.
Trying to find their identity.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that sounds like frustration. Just to feel your energy when you were explaining that. It sounds like a bit of frustration in that. So can you explain to us the frustrations of being a manager, a music manager?
There's so much. So the biggest frustration would be I can't want it more than you. That's like the biggest one. I've done this for years. I work with artists who I could have gotten, on award shows, or they could have done X, Y, Z, but they just didn't want it bad enough. And so you lose opportunities, you can lose relationships, so on and so forth. So those are that's where the biggest frustration comes. I'm blessed to not have to work with artists like that right now. Everyone I work with, everyone I know wants it in a different capacity or some way. And so it's kind of just, I feel like now I'm in a place where I get to pick and choose the type of energy and creatives I want to be around.
Definitely. That's amazing. How did you get started into managing?
Yeah, so I started music back in high school and in college. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the group called Quiet Storm. I started out on their street team probably 10 plus years ago. I was just helping them with promo and street promo. And then when I got to college, I did radio, I did bookings, I did sales. I just kind of did a bunch of everything. And then I got an internship with G Unit Records. So I started off there. And then that internship got me another internship with Interscope Records. So before I graduated college, I had all this experience and internships under my belt. So by the time I graduated, I was able just to reach out to all the connections that I've made and just kind of, you know, hey, I'm moving to LA. Do you have anything open for me? So on and so forth. And I just reached out to connections. They had me. I started off as a temp and then worked my way up.
I understand that, you know, you have a lot of experience, dope experience, you know, from what you explained. Basically in the music industry and in management. Is that where your passion lies?
I would say my passion lies probably in the mix of both of them. I equally enjoy both of them. I'm not rushed for either or. When I create an event, it's on my time, and when I'm inspired, I don't have to pop up and create an event every week or every month. It's when I have an idea, when there's a need, or when artists have something they want to put together. I work with a bunch of creatives. We plan something and we execute. And so I get to do that quarterly. I still have a full-time job that I work in tech full-time. So this is kind of like what I do on my time, and you know, for me and for the artists around me. So we get to kind of own what we do and how we create.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
How do you make them work together? How do you make the event planning work with music management? How do they? Because obviously they do, right? So how do you make them work?
So I'll give you just real experience. The first event that I did was in 2021, October of 2021. And at that event, the artist that I managed met some other artists there. From that point on in 2021 to now, they've created probably 3 or 4 tracks together. They've released some projects. Now they're creating like videos and reels and like offering more services. So I connect a lot of different people within these events. They're not just for the artists, they're for networking. And I make it known, like, this person is in the building. Like, if you're looking for a talent manager, go talk to this person, or this person's in the building. We acknowledge who's in the room and make sure everyone has an opportunity to kind of mix and mingle. And we encourage that, because what's the point of coming out to an event if you're an artist, if you're not going to try to expand your network in some way or some sort? So we thoroughly, encourage that.
For sure.
That's a lot of the time the stuff that's needed for artists in Chicago, I know.
Yes.
Because there's so many artists, there's so many producers, but there's not enough management, not enough
guidance or direction.
Yeah, middle guys that, the paperwork guys that,
Exactly.
So yeah, those are good events to get into if you're a Chicago artist as well, or anywhere, wherever she's involved at. You do Chicago shows?
I do Chicago shows. I have a show coming up in Detroit that I'm going to do. I'll probably announce that very soon, but the Industry Detroit, I want to take it there, just wherever a caller in need is. I had a lot of experience in Detroit from music before, so I have connections there.
Show
it's
on
easy.
the March 22nd. Where is that at?
That's going to be here in Chicago at
that is in
Hugh,
Chicago.
67 East Cermak.
Nice.
7 to 10 p.m.
Right off the
So
side.
basically, it kind of sounds like you the plug. From everything I've been hearing,
She plug.
like you the plug.
In so
a
many
way.
words.
Okay. So just to throw more about the show on March 22nd, because it's vastly approaching, you know what I'm saying? So can you give us just more information on, if you have slots available, how artists can be a part of it, how can we get in tune with you?
Absolutely. So the slots are fully closed. We actually went over the limit this time because we had so many amazing artists submit. I just couldn't turn everybody down. So we are closed. However, I do encourage artists to still come out, buy a ticket and support, because again, you don't know who's going to be there. You don't know, what you can take from that event. And then if somebody doesn't show up, sometimes I'll pick somebody from the audience to just hop up. So stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Ooh, I like that. Like that for sure.
That comes with experience, right?
You know?
For sure. So, we definitely running out of time. Johni been flagging me for the past 5 minutes. So we gonna respect the man of the house. So tell the people where they can find you on everything that they can find you.
Absolutely. On Instagram, just follow The Industry Shy. The Industry Shy, just like that. You'll be able to find my main page. I have a few different pages. Lala's hosting, and then my main page. You'll find that all on there. I'm not going to go into too many details, but The Industry Shy is the most important page. Please follow me there. Hit the link in the bio. Support the movement. Support by buying tickets, and stay tuned for future announcements.
For sure, Miss Lala. It has definitely been a pleasure. My boy Nefu, tell him what's up. Tell him something. Tell him.
Nefu, ooh, the truth in the booth. You know what it is.
You already know it's your girl, Johni Demeatri, the queen of the ghetto gospel. Another episode of Urban Grind Radio. We out. Peace.
Yo, it's Israel. Most call me Lala, and you are now tuned into Urban Grind Radio.